We are live. Hey, how is it going? Woo woo! Watch the live Q&A. Lee Hayward here, back again for another live video Q&A. So I just want to make sure that this is up and running and that everything is working fine. I'm having some tech issues when it comes to streaming these live video chats on YouTube lately. For some reason, the browser that I was always doing my live chats through doesn't work. So I'm using a different browser, trying it through Google Chrome, and that's working. So I had this all set up, ready to go. And the previous browser, I click live, and it just stays frozen. And they get the circle of death just going on the screen there, just waiting. And I'm like sitting here for like 5 minutes waiting for the thing to go live. And I'm like, screw this. So I close out and then try it on Chrome, and hey, it works fine. So anyway, lessons learned the hard way. Tech issues, right? Tech issues. Anyway, if you can hear me, if you can see me, if this is coming through loud and clear and all that good stuff, let me know in the chat window. I want to make sure that this is working before I start talking to dead air out there. So let me know. Sean is joining in. Hey, Sean, how's it going? Saying it's loud and clear. Appreciate it. So the way these video chats work, I'm going to be hanging out here for the next little while, answering any questions, topics of discussion related to fitness, nutrition, building muscle, losing fat, specifically gearing it towards guys who are over 40, right? That's where I am. That's the demographic I'm in, and that's who I can relate to the most, right? Guys who are going through that challenge where, you know, you're raising a family, you're working a full-time career, like you're struggling to keep things afloat, and you don't have endless time to be dedicating to your own workouts, and it's sometimes it's hard to make it all fit. Like that's where I'm really focusing on myself and becoming more efficient. And basically, how can you maximize the effort that you put into your fitness and nutrition, get the best bang for your buck without spending endless hours in the gym, without starving yourself on crazy diets. And someone's ringing the doorbell. Hang on, just give me a second. Who's at the door? I'll be back in a second. I just got to, I think that's my wife out there, and she, she wants me to come to the door for a second. I'm on the live video chat. Yes. I'm on the... All right. I'll go out and play with you after. All right. Love you too. All right. All right. Back again. Now, everyone's wondering, where the heck's Lito? There's talking to nobody there. Yeah, that was Trish and Harvey. They're outside playing in the snow, and they wanted me to see what they were building. I think they're building a snowman out there, so that's what it was. Anyway, we'll go out and play in the snow afterwards. All right, so anyway, as I was telling you, this is the way these video chats work, is I'm going to be hanging out here for the next hour or thereabouts, answering any questions that you may have with regards to fitness, nutrition, and all that good stuff. We got a lot of people tuning in. If you are a regular to these video chats, you've been tuning in for a while, let me know. Type the letter R into the chat window there. And if you are new, never been to one of these live video chats, I want to welcome you. Type the letter N for new, newbie, novice to the video chats. Let me know. It'd be interesting to just get an idea of who is new and who is a regular. I do recognize some of the names for sure. We do have a couple of newbies joining us as well. Welcome again if you haven't tuned into a live video Q&A before. All right, so what I'm going to do now is just kind of jump in here and answer some questions. Someone's saying I got a booger in my nose. If I got a booger, not that I'm embarrassed about it. No, I think you're just trying to get me going. Sean does that. I think every video chat Sean comes on, he tells me I got a booger in my nose. I think he's just trying to get me going. Let's see what else we got. Robert's joining in. Abrams joining us. He says, how can you naturally boost your immune system? The best thing that you can do, Abram, to boost your immune system is take care of your health in general. I mean, there's so many things. Eat a healthy diet, get adequate sleep, stay hydrated, regular exercise, like all the stuff that you do for general health and fitness, that's going to carry over into boosting your immune system. One of the best things you can do is making sure that you're getting adequate fruits and vegetables in your diet. Like you're getting those natural antioxidants, the natural phytonutrients and enzymes and vitamins and minerals that's found in fruits and veg. The more natural, unprocessed foods you eat, the better. Avoid alcohol, avoid processed foods, sweets, junk foods, that kind of stuff. Drink water, try to avoid the like soda pop and sugary drinks and stuff like that. I mean, all this stuff, that basically everything that you would do for overall health and fitness is what you would do to boost your immune system as well. Right? That's the main things that you would do. And of course, we also have all the whole wash your hands and stuff like that. Like what it's like with the whole COVID situation. There's hand sanitizer coming out the yin yang these days, and everyone's wash and sanitize and wipe down. And while that, I do see the merit for it, and I do understand why we're doing that. I think like over washing your hands and overusing hand sanitizer and all this stuff may actually be negative in the long term, because you're not building up your antibodies to natural immunity. Like sometimes you need to get dirty in order to build up an immunity to fight off that kind of stuff. Like if you see kids like back in the day, like if you're in my age bracket or older, like we used to play outdoors. We didn't have video games coming at us all the time. And we used to get outside and get dirty and play outdoors and, build tree forts and just, go out in the woods and do stuff. Like, we were getting dirty and we're playing outdoors, and you're just exposed to a lot more things. Whereas a lot of times I see people in the house, on the computer, on the video games, and not getting a lot of just good old fashioned outdoor activity. And I think that that's good for your immune system, just getting outdoors in general. I mean, I personally try to get outside every day, even if it's just for a simple little walk around the block. Like get outside, get some natural sunlight, some natural fresh air. I mean, it'll make you feel better, and it's certainly going to help to boost your immune system. So hopefully that helps. But another thing that I have as well, a vitamin and mineral guide that you can download. This is something I have available over on my website, leehayward.com. And it covers all the major vitamins and minerals, all the different electrolytes, and how you can get those through natural food sources. So this is a great way to help optimize your nutrition. So if you want to download a copy of that, it's a vitamin and mineral intake guide for athletes. But I mean, it would also carry over to help improve your immune system. Head on over to leehayward.com, and you should see a link to it in the side menu bar there for the vitamin and mineral guide that you can download. I'm pretty sure it's there. I'm just going to have a quick check, because here I am telling you to go download it, and I just got to make sure it's actually still there. All right. Just give me a quick second. Yeah, it's right there. So yeah, literally, there's two books. There's one, How I Went From Fat to Ripped After 40, and then the next one is Free Vitamin and Mineral Intake Guide. So yeah, you can download them both if you want. Free PDFs. Okay, what else we got there? Jose is joining in. Abram saying, don't answer the door. Too late. I already answered it. Rich saying, what's up? We have Lee Dunnigan joining in. We have Pamela joining in. New to the video chat. Welcome. Glad to have you tuning in. If you're new, post a question. I will give priority to the new people if you do have a question. Jose is saying, what's the correct way to do face pulls, since I see different hand and arm positions and videos? This applies to face pulls, and it applies to a lot of different exercises. There's different ways to go about it, and it's not always right, wrong, good, bad, or whatever. It's just a different variation. So some people will do face pulls with their hands holding the rope almost like an overhand grip and pulling towards their face like this. Other people will use an overhand grip on the rope and pull them. Some people will actually use handles, like you might have two individual handles and you have kind of like a neutral grip. Whatever. Like I made a YouTube video. If you just do a search for Lee Hayward face pulls, you'll see it, and I cover some different hand positions. But regardless of how you position your hands, you're still working the muscles of the upper back, the rear delts, the traps, all that stuff. You're still working the upper back complex when you're doing face pulls. It's just certain hand positions may make the exercise feel different. It's just like when you're doing a bicep curl. Like if you use a palms up grip versus a hammer grip versus like an easy bar curl grip or something like that, or you start doing a supination where you're actually twisting as you're curling, It all works. It's not right, wrong, good, bad. It's just hitting different muscles and different aspects. Same like with a bench press. Like if you do a flat bench press or an incline bench press or a decline bench press, it's not right, wrong, good, or bad. It's just different variations to hit different aspects of the muscle. So the same thing applies with the face pull. You know, some people are going to do it, have their own personal way of doing it. Somebody else is going to have their other variation of doing it. And then some people are probably like to cycle through and use different variations. And I'm kind of, most of the time, I will usually use a rope and an overhand grip when I do a face pull, but sometimes I'll use the individual handles or different hand positions. Jesus, I think she's knocking on the door again. Just give me a second. I got to go answer the door. I'm trying to do a video chat. I'm trying to do a video chat. Oh, I thought you were. Sorry.
I was trying the keys.
Okay.
The door's locked. The ice in it. I was trying to get
out. All right. All right. I'm still doing a video chat. So I'm going to halt to my door here now, okay? All right. I got to put a do not disturb sign or something up. Harry. Anyway, they're out playing in the backyard, and the back door was, the lock was frozen on it, and they couldn't get it open from the outside. Anyway. Where was I? Face pulls. We covered that one. All right, moving on. Next question. What's the best way to get rid of a fatty chest during lockdown? The same way you would get rid of a fatty chest anyway. You lose fat. Diet, exercise. You can't spot reduce fat. So if you've got a fatty chest, or you got fatty love handles, or you got fat anywhere, it all comes down to diet and exercise, meaning you have to be in a caloric deficit to tap into burning that stored body fat. And the big thing here is you need to give it time. Like as you burn body fat, you're going to lose it from different areas. Like generally speaking, it's frustrating, but you lose it from the easier spots to lose it first. So like a lot of times when guys lose weight, they're going to lose it from their arms and their shoulders, you know, and their legs and stuff like that. And very often you'll see guys like they might have lean definition in their arms, shoulders, and legs, and still have that stubborn fat in their belly and in their torso. That's just the way it is. Women are usually the opposite. They tend to lose weight in their upper body fairly easy, and then they really cling to it in the lower body, especially around the hips and thighs. It's all hormonal reasons. But bottom line, you have to get into a calorie deficit. You have to get into fat burning mode, and you have to stay there long enough to let your body tap into burning that stored body fat. And it's not that you're doing anything right or wrong when you're losing fat from the easier areas first. It's just that's the way the body's going to prioritize it. It's going to lose the easy fat first, and then the stubborn fat is always the last to go. But if you stay in a fat loss program and a calorie deficit long enough, you will tap into burning that stubborn body fat. You just need to give it enough time. If you want some help with that, like an actual structured program and all that kind of stuff, then feel free to email me or message me on Facebook or whatever, and we can chat about it. Because the best approach is going to vary from person to person, depending on your situation, your fitness level, and all that kind of stuff, right? I mean, there's no one size fits all cookie cutter approach, right? I don't like to give that, because what might be an ideal scenario for one person may not be ideal for someone else. And that's where I like to customize and help people to put together a specific plan of action that works for them, their situation, and of course, their personal likes and dislikes when it comes to nutrition and exercise and all that kind of stuff. So if you want some help, feel free to reach out, email me, leeh@leehayward.com. That's my personal email address, and we can have a chat about it. David saying, hello, hope you and your family are doing well, and the family are doing well. They're outside playing in the snow today. And we're currently in lockdown right now, right? That's why they're out having fun. We're back in lockdown, and I know, like, it's frustrating because we were doing so well here in Newfoundland for controlling the whole COVID situation. Like last week, we literally had it down to 5 cases in the entire province. Like it was almost non-existent. And those 5 people, like they were known, they were in self-isolation, they were recovering, like everything was under control. I mean, it was almost like wiped out. Like we almost had it totally cleaned off the slate. And then this week, the shit hit the fan. COVID started to go rampant throughout the high schools, and then it just started to spread. So we've been having like 100 cases a day this past week. So we went from 5 total cases in the entire province to like now we're having 100 cases a day. So we're, because of that, we're all back down on lockdown again. The gyms are closed. All the restaurants are closed. Non-essential businesses are closed, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, we're back to square one, I guess, until we get this outbreak under control. And it's frustrating because, like I say, we were doing so darn good with it. And I guess people were getting cocky, feeling, hey, we got it under control. It's non-existent. And then next thing you know, it just starts to spread again. So it's certainly frustrating. Let's see what else we got there. So that covers, someone was asking about the gyms opening back up. I have no idea. They're tentatively closed for at least a couple weeks, maybe longer. It all depends on how fast they can get things under control again. What else we got there? How do you keep yourself motivated? Motivation is overrated. Everyone's like, how do I get motivated? Forget motivation. Focus on habits, not motivation. That's how well, it's not how you get motivated. That's how you get shit done. Stop relying on motivation. And I'm going to give you a real world example. Like, if you are currently working a job, or if you're a student and you're going to school, or if you're a parent and you have a child, like, do you wait until you're motivated to do those things? Like, for example, like, do you have to wait until you're motivated to get up and go to work in the morning? Like, do you just like say, oh, I don't feel motivated, I'm not going to go in today. Or, I'll give it a couple weeks and see if I feel motivated, and then I'll decide to go into work. Well, if you had that attitude towards your job, chances are you're not going to be working very long. Or if you had that attitude towards your school, you say, you know what, I don't feel motivated, I'm not going to go to school today. If you kept doing that, well, guess what? You're going to flunk out of school. Or again, if you're a parent, right, you got a baby and you say, you know what, I'm not motivated. I don't think I'm going to take care of my baby today. I'm not feeling very motivated, right? I'll wait till I feel motivated, and then I'll change that diaper, or I'll feed the baby. Well, the baby's not going to be around very long if that's the way you act to her. Like, you do it because you got to do it. Like, same with your fitness. You do it because you got to do it. You don't wait until you're motivated to do it. You do it because it's the right thing to do, and it's who you are, and it's what you do. Like, with your job, I'm sure there's some days you wake up in the morning, you're like, man, I don't feel like going to work today, but you get up and you do it anyway. I'm sure that when you're school, there's days you don't want to go to school, like, you do it anyway. That's it. You make it a habit. You make it part of your routine. You structure it and you schedule it in, and you just do it. It's like, think of it like a doctor's appointment. I mean, if you got a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment, I mean, nobody wants to go to that stuff, but you do it anyway, right? Because it's you got to do it. So what I recommend is schedule in your workouts in advance, even if they're home workouts, right? I mean, with the whole COVID situation, chances are that's what you're doing. I'm doing home workouts, and I'll talk more about that later. But schedule it in, right? This, like, in your calendar, say, you know what? Hey, I'm going to do whatever. Look at your time schedule and say, you know what? I've got an hour here, or I got a half hour there, whatever, and schedule it into the calendar and stick to that, just the same as you would if that was a dentist appointment that you had to go to, or if that was a job interview you had to go to, or if that was a date night with your significant other that you had to go to. All right, schedule it in and stick to it. Don't wait until like, oh, I'm not motivated, I'm this and that. Like, no, motivation is overrated. I don't feel motivated to work out half the time, but I do it anyway because I want to do it, and I know I need to do it for my health and fitness. So that's it. Like, that's the secret to motivation. Is there is no secret, right? Make it a habit and forget waiting for the streak of motivation to hit. I mean, it's fun when you are motivated. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's nice to go to the gym when you are fired up and you're motivated and you're looking forward to it. But those times are few and far between. You're not always going to feel that way. In fact, more often than not, you're not going to feel that way. So just learn to make a habit of it. I mean, if that was the only thing you get from this video chat, then it's well worth it. But there, that's the secret. And okay, appreciate it. Your support there, sharing that. I appreciate that, Jeff. Much appreciated. What else we got there? Zeb is joining in, saying, hello, Mr. Hayward. Nice to see you working out again. Okay, well, I got to put a period in there because I was thinking, what do you mean? He says he's back to working out again at 51. I thought you were saying I'm working out again at 51. I'm like, I'm not 51 yet. Getting there, not there yet. Mr. Hayward, nice to see you, sir. I've been working out again at age 51. When I'm moving around, I hear cracks and pops in my shoulders and knees. Do you have any ideas on how to mitigate this? That's not abnormal. All right. It's what I want you to focus on is doing a thorough warm-up. And I do have a warm-up routine on YouTube that I want you to watch. If you just do a search for Lee Hayward warm-up, there's a couple of videos. Go on YouTube, just Lee Hayward warm-up routine. And there's different exercises that you can go through to take your entire body through just a general warm-up and mobility exercise. I usually start with the neck, the shoulders, the arms, the chest, the back, like just work from the top, work your way down the bottom. And it's just basically a series of exercises, just body weight moves. You know, you don't need any special equipment whatsoever. Just all body weight movements and exercises that you can do. Takes about 5 to 10 minutes to run through, but it'll warm up your entire body, help to limber up the joints, tendons, and ligaments, and prepare you for the workout. That will help a lot. So do that. Another thing that I would recommend as well is when you're working out, try and keep your body warm. So try and work out in a warm area, you know, not in a cold gym. And if it is cold, bundle up, wear layers, wear like a t-shirt, wear a hoodie, wear track pants, like keep your shoulders, your elbows warm, keep your knees warm. No tank tops and shorts, you know, especially if it's cold, right? You want to keep the joints warm and the muscles warm because that's going to help to prevent injury and it'll just make you feel more mobile. I mean, I'd rather you err on the side of being a little too warm and breaking a sweat versus going in there and feeling cold and lifting up and working the muscles when they're cold. Cold muscles are not very flexible and pliable. It's better to be warm and versus cold. So that's another tip that'll help. And another thing as well with your workouts, if any particular exercise causes pain or discomfort, don't do it and find another variation to do instead. Don't get hung up on a particular exercise. Like if, for example, if squats hurt your knees, you don't have to squat. If bench presses hurt your shoulders, you don't have to bench press. You can find other exercise variations to do instead. And that's the cool thing about it. Like these days, we have so many different exercises available, assuming you can actually go to the gym and use those exercises. But even at home, I mean, we still got, if you got like resistance bands and dumbbells and just your body weight, you can still perform exercises that work with you, your mobility, and your comfort zone. You don't have to do stuff that causes pain. So that's a big thing. Like listen to your body. And if anything hurts, don't do it, right? Either find another exercise variation to do instead, or skip that movement entirely and just focus on working other exercises and movements that you can do comfortably, right? When you feel aches and pains, that's your body's warning sign. Now, the cracks and the pops, it's not always a bad thing because sometimes what happens is as you work through the exercise, like maybe on your first set, you'll have a few cracks and pops. And then on the second set, there might be fewer cracks and pops. And then by the time you get to the third set, there's no snap, crackles, and pops, right? I found that myself a lot of times. And it's almost like when you crack your knuckles, right? Sometimes you crack your knuckles, but once you do it, then they don't crack anymore because, you know, the joints are loose and limbered up. Sometimes the same applies with, you know, your shoulder joint or your elbows, or your knee joints. That first set or two, you might get a few pops and cracks happening, but once you warm them up, then very often that you can continue on without the snap, crackles, and pops, right? Without the Rice Krispies. What else we got? Jeff is saying, do I still have my Camaro? No, I actually sold my Camaro last year. And the reason I did that, I mean, I love that car. I totally loved it. Had a lot of fun with it. But it was getting to the point now after Harvey was born where I just wasn't using it. And it was like sitting in the garage, not even getting 1,000 kilometers a year on it. And I'm like, man, it's a waste, right? I mean, the car is just sitting here. I'm not using it. And so I ended up selling it. And I believe the new owners are thoroughly enjoying the car. Like it was local people I sold it to. And so I think they're thoroughly enjoying the car. I know, like after I did sell it to him, he sent me some pictures and stuff of it, and I'm certainly proud of it. But yeah, I do miss it a little bit. But at the same time, like I wasn't using it, and I'm at the stage I'm at right now. I wouldn't go out and get another sports car at this stage. Like I still have my rally car. I still have my Honda Civic rally car, which is all stripped out, roll cage, you know, set up for autocross and rally racing. I still have that. But this past year, I haven't done any racing with it because, again, the whole COVID situation has kind of like put a wrench into a lot of stuff. But yeah, I'm not going to be looking into another sports car anytime soon until Harvey is old enough to actually enjoy it, because it's not the ideal baby carrier, put it that way, right? And that's why I ended up getting rid of it. What else we got? We have YHY. I can't pronounce your name. Yhamented. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you. It was just overweight before. Now I'm okay. Sorry, he's reflecting back to a question I already answered earlier about the man boobs, chest fat. You skipped my question. Okay, that was AJ saying I skipped your question. Okay, I'm scrolling back up, see if I can see your question. Some people play a trick on me, and I think AJ's playing a trick on me because I don't see your question. All right, you got me. Good for you. I didn't skip your question because you didn't post it, or at least not in this chat. If you did post a question and it didn't come through for whatever reason, repost it, right? I'm going through these one by one in the order that they're posted in. All right, Rick has got a question. Suggestions on percentage of max when doing rep work. I don't get hung up on the whole 1 rep max and stuff like that. Like, focus on working within a repetition range and adjust the repetitions based on your fitness level. Like, some people are good at doing high reps. Some people are better at doing heavy weight. And let's just say you have 2 people who can bench press 300 pounds. If you take, okay, how much can they rep out for 225? It might not be the same. And it depends on how your body is built. Like, some people have more muscular endurance, more of the slow twitch muscle fibers, the more in the endurance fibers. Some people are more of the explosive fast twitch muscle fibers. And we all have different work capacities. So just because someone, like, you could have 2 people with the same 1 rep max doesn't mean that they're going to have the same muscular endurance capabilities. Like, one person may have a much higher work for reps. Someone else might have a much lower. So you can't really just work off percentages alone. I mean, it's a ballpark. Like, a lot of powerlifters, kind of base programs off percentages. And I'm not saying it's bad, but use it, like, take it with a grain of salt and realize, okay, it's just a starting point. It's something to kind of put you in the ballpark, but you'll really need to play around with it and adjust it for yourself. And, like, right now, I mean, I'm not a competitive powerlifter. I'm not focusing on training by percents or anything like that. I just, the way that I lift now, when I go into the gym, I'll take a very light warm-up weight and I'll just do a high rep set, maybe 15, 20 reps. And if that feels good, then I'll increase the weight and I'll just do another set. And if that feels good, I'll increase the weight and do another set. And I literally, each set that I do, I take it like that. I start off very light and I just work my way up until I get to the point where, okay, that felt heavy. That felt like I've did enough muscle stimulation. And I don't really overthink it. I just focus on the consistency and I lift within my means for that day, because your strength and your energy levels can fluctuate. Like, you're not always going to feel super strong. You're not always going to feel super energetic. And I allow that natural fluctuation. So on the days that I'm not feeling super strong or super energetic, then I'm not going to push myself as hard. On the days that I do have extra energy to burn, then yeah, I'm going to do heavier sets. I'm going to push myself harder. And I don't overthink it or get hung up on it. Like, oh, shoot, I lifted 200 pounds last day for 10 reps. Well, I better get 205 today for 10 reps. I mean, if I can't duplicate or improve every workout, I don't make a big deal of it, because I know my strength levels are going to fluctuate. I just want to focus on the long-term consistency. And as long as you're doing that, you're gradually going to improve your fitness and your work capacity. And it really depends on what it is you're focusing. What's the main goal at this stage? For me, it's just general fitness, fat loss, and being in the best shape that I can be without injuring myself. So that's why I'm not worried about powerlifting anymore. Not that I'm purposely going into the gym and training like a pussy, but I mean, it's like, I'm not going in there with that ego lifting mentality where always trying to lift heavier and heavier. Like, if today is not my day to lift heavy, then I'm not going to lift heavy. And I have no qualms about it. All right. I don't have an emotional attachment. When I was younger, I did, right? I always wanted to be, like Monday chest day bench press, hey, I got to put 3 plates on the bench today. And if I don't get at least 3 plates on the bench, then the workout's a failure, right? Like, I don't have that type of attitude anymore. It's like, I'll go in there and I'll just adjust my training and my intensity based on how I'm feeling that day. I don't like, oh, based on my percentage of my 1 rep max and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I don't even focus on that anymore. Where else are we going? We have Frederico from Paraguay. Welcome to the chat. Jeff was talking about the Camaro. I said I really enjoyed those videos when I did have it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're still up. I still got some of the old videos up there on YouTube. What else we got? Do you do meal prep every week? No, I don't meal prep in the traditional sense. Nothing wrong with it if people like to do that, but I work from home and I like to have my meals fresh. So I will usually make my meals day by day. Now, when I do make food, I very often make enough for leftovers. So I may have meals left over for a day or so, but it's not like I prep the entire week in advance. I mean, I'll probably prep for is a day or two in advance. That's it. Like, for example, like if I'm going to bake up chicken breasts, I might like have the whole tray of chicken breasts and bake them in the oven. And then I'll have chicken breasts good to go for the next 2 or 3 days. But I don't make a whole week's worth of meals in advance. A lot of times we'll make meals on the fly. Like some of my meals that I have on a regular basis, and I actually have a full day of eating video up on YouTube if you want to see a sample of this. It's time for a new one as well. So something I'll probably be putting out a new updated full day of eating video. But a lot of my meals are quick. Like it's healthy fast food. Like for example, like breakfast in the morning, like high protein oatmeal. That's something I can whip up in the matter of a few minutes, right? It's high protein fast food, healthy fast food. Lunch, very often like pre-made salads, chopped up chicken breast, and that's something I can whip up in the matter of a couple minutes, right? I mean, it's very quick and convenient. Dinner, that's usually like, sit down to the family dinner meal. That we usually make that fresh every evening. Obviously, my wife helps out a lot with that. For evening meals and snacks, like sometimes we might have like a high protein blender, ice cream smoothie. I mean, that's something I can whip up in the matter of a couple minutes. So a lot of my meals and the foods that I eat throughout the day are very quick, right? They don't require a lot of meal prep. And where I'm working from home and I have access to the kitchen right there, I mean, I have no problem with going out and spending 2 or 3 minutes to put together a meal, right? So I don't need to have it all Tupperwared out and ready to go in advance. I very often I'll make my meals on the fly in real time. Now, if I was working outside the home, like back when I was, when I was in school, for example, or when I have worked outside the home, not very often though. Most of my work has been at home, which is very fortunate. I would do the whole Tupperware meal prep thing, but I would only do it for that day. I wouldn't pack my meals for a week in advance. I would pack my meals for that day for the lunches that I had. And that's where I personally go about it. Now, I know other guys like to have their countertop lined off and they've got, 26 meals lined off for the week and blah, 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 all laid out in Tupperware and color coordinated. And if that's you, hey, there's nothing wrong with it. Like whatever works for you, whatever you enjoy doing. I just personally like to have my meals fresh day by day. That's the way I like to go about it. And I like to have the flexibility like, hey, today we're going to have chicken, tomorrow we're going to have beef, the next day we're going to have fish. I don't want to have it all like have to eat the same thing day in, day out all the time. I like to have that freedom and flexibility to have that variety with my meals. I mean, it's always like protein, veggies, and complex carbs. Like that's the thing, but I'll vary the protein, I'll vary the veggies, and I'll vary the complex carbs, but it's always that same ratio. Like when I look at a plate, I'm always thinking 1/3 protein, 1/3 veggies, 1/3 complex carbs. And that's what I want to focus on. Hopefully that helped. What else we got there? Have you got questions for losing body fat when you're reasonably lean but still have love handles? The same principles apply. This is from Frederico. If you want to focus on fat loss, it's regardless if you're 50 pounds overweight or you're 5 pounds overweight, the same principles apply. Now, the thing is, it's going to be harder to lose fat the leaner you are than it is when you're really overweight. And it's not because it's harder, it's because you're further along. And I'll give you an example. Like if you take someone who's like really overweight, 50 pounds overweight or 100 pounds overweight or something like that, like they're probably not exercising. They're probably eating a lot of processed foods. Like they're not paying attention to the basics. So if they just start exercising, heck, even if it's just going outside for a walk, if they just start eating better food, like eating more protein, eating more vegetables, right, drinking less sugary soda pops, like cut out the pizza and the beer, like simple stuff like that. Very often you could have someone who's overweight and they just start dropping weight instantly just from a few simple changes. Now, if you have someone who's already doing all that, right, they're already exercising on a regular basis, they're already eating a clean, healthy diet, they already have the fundamentals in place. Now they got to take it to the next level, and they got to really get more detailed when it comes to the calorie balance and making sure that they're in that calorie deficit, and be a bit more strict around the portion sizes and all that, because you already have the fundamentals in place, and the fundamentals will take you most of the way. Like the fundamentals is like the 80-20 rule. Like that's the 20% effort that's going to give you 80% results. But now to go from lean to ripped, now you reverse that 80-20 rule. Now it's going to take 80% effort to get the remaining 20% results. And that's where you see people really working it, like especially like high-level athletes, competitive bodybuilders, and people like that who are going from lean to ripped. Right? To go to fat to lean is relatively simple, right? Eat right and exercise. You can go from fat to lean. To go from lean to ripped, that's where you got to pull out the all the stops and really focus on stepping things up to the next level. Next level when it comes to training intensity, next level when it comes to dialing in your nutrition. And it can be more challenging. And again, it's just like that whole 80-20 rule, right? To get the 20% effort to get the initial 80% results. But then it takes 80% effort to get the last 20% results, right? So you're going to work harder to go from lean to ripped than you did from fat to lean. But it's still the same basic principles, right? What else we got there? Let's see. Zeb saying, thanks for helping us old timers, Mr. Hayward. How do you make a living, if you don't mind me asking? I've got a couple things. One, I do one-on-one coaching. That's a big thing. I have a private coaching group and have a lot of personal coaching students that I work with individually. But also in the so-called real world, I have a rental property business. I own and manage rental properties. So that's what I do in the real world outside of the online fitness coaching. Jeff saying, appreciate all the information you provide. You're very welcome. Glad to help. What's your opinion on massage guns? I've never used a massage gun. That one's from Marvo. I've seen them. These big old, looks like a ginormous vibrator machine or something. It's like a drill and a boom, 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 boom. I've never used one of those. I've had people reach out to me, oh, we'll send you a free massage gun if you do a video shout out for us. I'm like, I don't want a freaking massage gun. It looks stupid. I don't know. Again, I've never used it, and it just, if you're using a massage gun and you find it works well, then hey, let me know in the comments below. But I've never used one, and I have no desire to use it. Right? If I want a massage, I'm going to get a proper massage. I don't want a big old vibrating gun to thump, 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 thump. Anyway, that's my feedback about it. You asked my question again. All right. We got someone here. I don't know what's going on. He keeps saying I skipped his question. Well, if I skipped your question, just re-ask the question instead of emphasizing that I skipped your question, because I'm saying your question is not showing up on my screen. So you have time to keep saying you skipped my question, but I think you're just jerking me around. That's all. You're having a bit of fun here. Anyway, good for you. You got me talking about you and your question that's not there. That's from AJP17, whoever AJ17P, whatever. Anyway, everybody else's question is showing up. For some reason, yours is not, right? There we go. What else we got? What do you think? Oh, shit, what did happen there? I tapped my screen and something happened. Whoops, that was weird. Ooh. I didn't know I could do that. I just tapped my screen and woo, it blew up off the page here. Okay. Shit, I lost my place then when I resized my screen again. I know we were talking about massage guns. That was the last one, and Mr. AJ's question, which is not there. Where was I to? What do you think of Myo reps for size? That's from John. I don't know what a myo rep is. Myo rep? A mayo rep? I don't know. I don't know what a myo rep is, so can't say nothing. We have Bearded Brother saying, how's the weather? We've had snow today, so it's been a bit cold and snow, but yeah, winter in Newfoundland. Typical winter day. Frederico saying, no, there's a bug. My buddy's questions aren't showing up. Okay, if there is a bug saying the questions are not showing up, I'm not all you got to do, if you have a question, like type the question into the, because you're able to type saying that your question's not there. We'll just repeat the question, right? Versus keep saying the question's not there. Just type in saying, hey, how do I do XYZ? Or what do you think about XYZ? Or whatever. Like, anyway, I'm going to leave this one alone. Yeah, even Frederico saying, retype your freaking question. Then I will see it. Charles has got a question saying, transitioning from strongman, I'm used to being big. I want to try an obstacle course race and other sports. How do I get over the mindset of wanting to be huge all the time? It's kind of become who I am. I think you just got to get around people who are in the different sports, because once you get around people who are doing whatever type of races, whether it's a Spartan race or a Tough Mudder or whatever type of event that you're trying to train in, once you start associating and getting around people who are doing that, all of a sudden you're going to want to become like they are, if that's what you're aspiring to be. And what's considered big is all relative to the people you associate with. So like world's strongest man competitors, for example, like they are like literally giants. You know, you're talking like guys well over 6 feet tall, well over 300 pounds, like just massive men. Like some are pushing like 7 feet tall and 400 pounds. Like you got the Brian Shaws of the world and people like that. I mean, they're the unicorns of the strongman world because they're the elite of the elite, but they're massive men. Like I met Brian Shaw in person, and like it's just like, holy shit, right? I mean, I'm just looking up at the guy and he's just this mountain of a man. That's crazy. Now, you get around people who are doing like Spartan races or Tough Mudders. I mean, heck, they're 150 pounds, right? You know, they're small guys. So what's considered big is all relative to who you're associating with. So you just need to associate with people who are doing what you want to do. That's it. And like realize that extra weight you're carrying, it's not helping you with your endurance sports, right? That's definitely not. You know, I mean, that's extra weight that you got to lug around that obstacle course. All right, so that's why the people who are going to succeed and excel at those sports are going to be very light and streamlined, you know, very efficient. Whereas the people who are going to succeed in, you know, strength and power sports are going to have that mass just for that explosive strength. So it's really just you having to get around the people who you want to associate with and the people who are excelling at the sports that you want to excel at. Do you think supplements are worth the money, or should I stay with real food? That's kind of a loaded question because there's so many supplements, right? I mean, like there are some supplements that are worth the money. There are some supplements that I think are a total waste and a crock of BS and everything in between. But what I will say is supplements are just supplements. They're not designed to replace real food. Like if you look at the priority when it comes to nutrition, 95% of your results is going to come from real food and exercise, sleep, and lifestyle choices, like all the fundamentals. Supplements is like the icing on the cake. It's going to give you like an extra 5% edge at most. So most people, like when they want to focus on fitness and nutrition and getting in shape, they're always looking for what's the shortcut? I want to pop a pill. All right. What's the best pill that I can pop to give me abs? What's the best pill that I can pop to do this? Right. What's the diet pill? What's the muscle builder? What's the fat burner? What's the pill? Right. Everybody wants the pill mentality. And the reality is you can't pop a pill and get in shape. If you could, then everybody in the world would be in shape. Right. We wouldn't have an obesity epidemic. You know, everybody would be ripped and shredded and we'd be all on the beach, you know, flexing it up because we'd be all in awesome shape if we could just pop a pill and get there. The reality is 95% of the results are going to come from diet, exercise, and lifestyle choices. 5% is going to come from the supplements. So look at it in that sense. You want to emphasize real food over supplements. Where I personally use supplements is just kind of like filling in the gaps. Like, for example, I will use a protein powder supplement, but technically I don't even consider it a supplement. I just consider it a convenient source of protein food. But I will use that, like high protein oatmeal or high protein blender smoothies or stuff like that. High protein pancakes and a lot of things that I'll use protein powder for. I'll also use a greens powder, and this is just a vegetable supplement. Just like you supplement your protein intake with protein powder, you can supplement your vegetable intake with greens powder. So, I mean, those are two that I would definitely recommend. And that's like, if I can't get solid food protein, I'll have a protein supplement. If I can't get solid food vegetables, I'll have a green supplement. So those are ways that I kind of like supplement my diet. But again, focus on the real food. Don't go looking for the shortcut with the supplement, because for the most part, it's not going to make that big of a difference. Like say, it's a 5% edge at most. I can't even say that. Mimona. I get it. Anyway, your biggest advice for people having no access to a gym at the moment due to the current coronavirus situation worldwide. This brings up a perfect opportunity for me to talk about what I want to talk about next. I'm doing live follow-along workouts over on my Facebook page while the gyms are closed down. Like, as I mentioned earlier, we're in lockdown, right? The gyms are locked up. The restaurants are shut down. Schools are shut down. Non-essential businesses are shut down. Like the arse fell out of her. Like the world is shut down, at least here where I live locally. All that's open is the essential businesses, right? So, I mean, I'm doing workouts from home. That's what I'm doing right now. And I'm doing daily live follow-along workouts over on my Facebook page. And if you are not already friends with me on Facebook, then just go to Facebook, look for Lee Hayward. It's facebook.com/Lee.Hayward is my Facebook username profile. But add me as a friend on Facebook, right? Or follow me on the Total Fitness Bodybuilding Facebook page, either or do it all, right? Do it all. Because I'm very active on Facebook. Like, I know I have a lot of YouTube videos and stuff, but most of my interaction where I share a lot of my content, and I've been doing a lot of stuff, is on Facebook. And I like Facebook because it's more of a two-way conversation. Like right now, we got a bit of a two-way conversation going on because we're having a live chat, but Facebook is even a better two-way conversation, right? Because, I mean, you can comment, you can interact, you can message each other back and forth. So, I mean, it's a much more interactive platform versus YouTube. It's kind of like just watch, like, and yes, you can post your comments, but it's not a two-way conversation where it is more so on Facebook. So that's why I'm very active over there. So if you're not already following me over on Facebook, then do it. And that's where I've been sharing some live workouts. So like last night, we did a chest, shoulders, and tricep workout down in my basement home gym, and we used just rubber resistance band and body weight. Today, I'm going to be doing a back and biceps workout. Again, using just basic exercises, rubber resistance bands, and body weight. So you can follow along with those. And the cool thing about these workouts is I do them live, but if for some reason you can't attend the live video, then the replay is posted up immediately afterwards. So that's available as well, right? So right now, like yesterday's chest, shoulder, tricep workout is up there on the Facebook page. If you want to go follow along, you can do it just the same as if you were there following it in real time. But yeah, that's what I would recommend. What else we got? John is saying, he's talking about the myo sets or myo reps. He says it's like a mini short rest pause where you do 10 reps, 1 activation set, then 5 rest pause reps, 3 to 4 reps, and then 10 seconds of rest. Try it. I mean, like, rest pause has its merits. Like, the whole idea of a rest pause set is just you basically train to temporary muscular failure, or the point where your form starts to break down. You take a little mini rest break, and then you grind out a few more reps. Like, I do that myself sometimes, right? I mean, it's just another way to kind of push your limits in the gym. I mean, you can obviously just train to positive failure, where you do a set, and as soon as your form starts to break down and you can't do another rep with good form, you just stop it. And then you can obviously take a proper rest break and do another set, or you can do rest pause where you just take a little mini rest and then try and get a few more reps. Like, it's not right or wrong, good or bad. It's just another strategy, another tool in the toolbox. I kind of do something similar myself, with the rest, pause, reps. I like it with isolation exercises and machine exercises and stuff like that. I would not recommend doing something like that with big, heavy barbell lifts. Like, I wouldn't do rest pause with bench press or with squats or deadlifts or overhead press or stuff like that. But, bicep curls or leg extensions or, machine exercises and stuff like that, you can certainly do rest pause reps there and do so relatively safely. We got a question here from Movie and Exercise TV. All right. Can kids bulk up and can they diet also? Yeah, I mean, kids can do it all. Absolutely. Right. I mean, if you're looking to build muscle and during the teenage years, and I'm assuming that's what you mean by a kid, is like a teenager, that is the best time to take advantage of your natural growth potential, because every single person in the world during their teenage years gets bigger and stronger and more muscular, regardless if they work out or not, regardless if they watch what they eat or not. Like, just going through puberty, you get bigger and stronger and build muscle. Everybody, boys, girls, doesn't matter. Like, you look at the average 13-year-old, you look at the average 19-year-old, every single person, unless you have some sort of genetic health issues or problems. I mean, if you're in normal health, every single person gets bigger and stronger during their teenage years, regardless if they lift weights or not. So if you combine that with proper weight training and proper nutrition and a healthy lifestyle, man, you can make some crazy gains throughout the teenage years. And that's what I did. Like, I made some really impressive gains throughout my teenage years because I took advantage of that opportunity, because your natural anabolic hormones are on bust. Like, testosterone levels is through the roof, growth hormone levels through the roof, your insulin sensitivity is there, your metabolism is on fire. Like, everything is primed for growth. So, I mean, you combine that with proper training, nutrition, and healthy lifestyle, you can just make some amazing gains. And I would recommend, if you are a young person watching this now, then take advantage of that time frame. And if you're a parent who's trying to help your kids to get involved with sports and athletics, then definitely encourage them to take advantage of that phase so you can make the best progress ever. Robert saying, what do you eat in the evening so you don't go to bed hungry? I've got a video called, I'm just going to recommend this. If you do a search for, let me see what it's called. Shit, I'm trying to find it there now. Just do a search for like Lee Hayward, Satisfy Your Cravings. The title of the video is You Need to Try These Healthy Snacks While Dieting. That's the title of it. In fact, I'll just copy the link here. Copy link address. I'll put it in our chat window. So this one's for you, Robert. You should see it there. It's a link I just posted there in the video chat window. But if you just do a search for like Lee Hayward, Satisfy Your Cravings, you'll find it. That covers 5 healthy snacks that you can have while dieting that are low in calorie. That'll help with the whole satisfy the cravings and keep you on track. And these are stuff that I have. I mean, you can have them anytime, but they're ideal for those late night cravings, right? That's when the cravings usually hit, late at night. So, I mean, check that out. But what else we got? Am I on TikTok? Nope. What kind of questions are we allowed to ask? Whatever you want. Ask whatever you want. I'll decide myself whether I want to answer it. That's from Spencer. Helder is saying, Lee, been following you for 10 years. Never knew you did rental properties. Maybe I missed it. Questions. So what's a 4-bedroom detached home go for in your parts? I'm in Toronto. I don't have any 4-bedroom detached homes here, but I can tell you one thing. The price of real estate in Newfoundland is a lot less than in Toronto. Simple as that. Like a lot less. Right. I have a 3-bedroom, my nicest apartment that I have, right? It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, beautiful inside, open concept kitchen, you know, a paved driveway, shed in the backyard. It's like $1,250 a month, right? I've know like that's a fair deal here in Newfoundland, but I know I've seen people in Toronto saying, shit, if I was paying $3,000, I still wouldn't get anything nearly as good as that. So yeah, you can pretty much like triple or quadruple the real estate prices in Toronto compared to what they are here in Newfoundland. And it's all, you know, it's all relative. Location, 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 right? Where are you heldly? I don't know what that means. Let's see what else we got there. I had this idea the other day to lose some pounds, but I don't know if it's bad for me or not. You don't know if it's bad to lose pounds. If you don't know if you should lose weight or not, then strip off your clothes, get butt naked, stand in front of a full-length mirror, and take a good hard look at yourself. And if you have some extra rolls or flabs or softness, then you probably need to lose some pounds. So that's kind of how you can judge whether you need to lose some pounds or not. What else we got there? I'm skimming through because I'm getting ready to clue up the video chat here now. So I'm just kind of like skimming through here and just grabbing any last minute questions. Thoughts on simply not eating for a day? Don't do it. Like there's no benefit to just starving yourself. I mean, I know some people do it, you know, oh, it's a detox or it's a this and that, but like, what's the point of just going a day not eating? Because what you'll end up doing is you'll end up binge eating and overcompensating when you do start eating again. Like the whole idea of fasting, I mean, I know people try and say, oh, it's healthy, it gives your digestive system a break or whatever, but like, unless you have to do it for some sort of medical reasons, don't do it for weight loss, because it's not a permanent sustainable approach. Because very often, okay, yeah, you fast. If you don't eat anything, you're going to drop weight. You're going to deplete your glycogen stores. You're going to lose a bunch of water weight, and you're going to lose weight, guaranteed, 100%. I mean, if you don't eat, you're going to lose weight. But as soon as you start eating again, you're more likely to overcompensate, because now you're feeling deprived and your blood sugar is low and all that stuff. And once you start eating again, and it's like opening up the floodgates, and it's hard to control your appetite. I would much rather you be stable and keep your eating consistent. Focus on a good structured eating plan, not these ups and downs, highs and lows, and trying to starve yourself and then binge and all that kind of stuff. Like, focus on consistency, not this, you know, trying to starve the weight off. Like the extreme all or nothing approach rarely works. And focus on the long-term consistency, not these short-term quick fix crash diet approaches. William saying, how many times a week do you train? I feel like 4 days a week with 3 days off is the best that I can rest and grow from. I personally do weight training 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is usually what I do. That's when the gyms are open and I'm doing regular training, that's what I do. I go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then on my off days from weight training, I'll do some cardiovascular training. So I refer to it as my yin and yang training system. So one day weight training, next day cardio, and I alternate it back and forth. Do I live close to Oak Island? No, I don't even know where Oak Island is. So, okay, no, that's from Jose. Charles is saying, my son is 7 and he's quite fit. We have him on a light protein diet. I don't know what that means, a light protein diet, but you want to focus on well-balanced diets right through all ages. I mean, obviously, you know, younger kids can get away with more carbohydrates and more fat, but I mean, like with light protein, I mean, you want to have adequate protein in there for growth and recovery. I wouldn't have them on a low protein diet. I don't know if that's what you mean by a low protein diet, unless, of course, it's recommended by a healthcare professional to deal with some sort of pre-existing health or medical issues. But I wouldn't put a child on a restrictive diet, meaning restricting calories or restricting nutrients. I would certainly restrict junk food, but doesn't mean you're restricting them from eating, right? Because I mean, this is the time when they're in their prime phase for growth, and like trying to put them on like a restricted diet is not ideal. I would rather fill them up on the good quality stuff. Fill them up on protein. Fill them up on veggies. Fill them up on good quality complex carbohydrates. Fill them up on the good healthy food, and then there's less room for the junk food. All right, I'm going to get ready and clue it up, guys, because almost an hour, and I actually have an appointment that I have to get to very shortly. So hopefully you enjoyed the video chat. I certainly enjoyed doing it. And what I'm going to do now is I will post up the replay of this afterwards, and I will get the timestamps for all the questions that I did cover posted up. Last week's video chat is already online with the replay and the timestamps there. So the cool thing about the timestamps, if you go back over these past replays, then you can just scroll through and see the specific questions that actually apply to you and that you're interested in, and jump to those specific questions versus having to watch the whole thing. Now, if you like watching the whole thing, then hey, by all means, watch the whole thing. But if there's just specific questions that you want to focus on, then you can do that by jumping through the timestamps. All right, I also got another tip come there from the Buff Canuck. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support, as well as Jeff, who offered a super chat tip there as well. Thank you guys for the support. It's much appreciated. And I'm glad you enjoy the video chats. So next week, I'll be doing another one. And in the meantime, if you're not already doing so, follow me over on Facebook, right? Lee Hayward, just search for my name. You'll see my profile picture there. You should recognize me. I know there's probably a lot of Lee Haywards, but I've got me doing a front double bicep as my profile picture. So hopefully you'll be able to recognize me. And follow me there, because I'll be doing live follow-along home workouts. So if the gyms are closed in your area and you can't get to the gym, or if you just want to work out from home, hey, we can have a virtual workout together, right? We can train set for set in real time, and it's just a cool little way to have that connection, and might give you a little bit of more motivation to train when you have that, virtual accountability. Hey, like, I'm going to follow along and work out with Lee versus just trying to do it on your own. Sometimes that might help. So again, add me as a friend on Facebook, follow along with those workouts, and I'm going to be doing them at least for the next couple of weeks. I mean, however long the gyms are closed, that's how long I'm going to be doing the home workouts for. So stay tuned for those, and look forward to talking to you next Friday with another live Q&A right here on the Total Fitness Bodybuilding YouTube channel. In the meantime, have yourself a great weekend, and I will talk to you next week. Take care. Over and out.